All right, so in game 2 of the series against Seattle, the A's narrowly defeat the Mariners by a final score of 7-5. This is our first time beating the Mariners in a really long time, dating back to last season. I believe we lost our last 13 matchups. They obviously dominated us last season and were a main reason that we weren't in playoff contention. But tonight the A's got the best of them. Another game where they hit well, similar to last night, and they just narrowly won. So that was good to see. And the A's get the victory 7-5. So let's get into this one. So Chad Pinder got the first run or RBI of the game for the A's with an RBI double off George Kirby, and that was to right field. Nice hit for him. Brought in the runner easily from second, and that was Tony Kemp, and that made it 1-0 A's. Jed Lowry got an RBI double for the A's. He had a really good game himself. I mean, it's crazy that Jed Lowry at this age is still hitting really well. Yeah, so Lowry got an RBI double, who also scored in Tony Kemp, and so that made it 2-0 in the third inning. And crazy enough, as I mentioned, Jed Lowry's a legend for the A's, but this was his 202nd double with the A's, and he moved ahead of Carney Lansford for the 8th most in Oakland A's history. Pretty crazy. However, the Mariners tied up the game. Caprillion was pitching, and Ty France got a 2-run double, so that made it 2-2. Sort of a sloppy play in the outfield, and the A's just couldn't get the ball in that quickly. Brought in those 2 runs, so I made it 2-2. Later on, Jed Lowry, as I mentioned earlier, had himself a great game. He crushed a 2-run homer off George Kirby to right center field. That made it 4-2 A's, and they took a lead in this one. Ty France once again stepped up. He got an RBI ground out. That made it 4-3. And with runners in scoring position, he's hitting like 400. So I expected, Ty France to do something, and he did have a productive out. Julio Rodriguez, who had a really good game yesterday, got a 2-run homer off Caprillion, and that made it 5-4 Mariners. So Caprillion sort of struggled pitching-wise, but the Mariners took the lead in the 5th inning. However, Andrus tied up the game with a solo homer to left field, and that was in the 6th inning. And Sean Murphy later scored on an error also hit by Andrus, so he got another RBI opportunity, and that made it 6-5. Poor play in the outfield. And Luis Barrera, who's also been hitting pretty well lately, got an RBI double over the right fielder's head, and that made it 7-5 A's. And Denny Jimenez got the save. So the A's win by a final score of 7-5 over Seattle. Not bad. I mean, I think the A's starting pitching was sort of weak today. I mean, Caprillion, he gave up 7 hits and 5 runs. The A's bullpen, I don't know what it is, but they're doing pretty good. Not every game, but, usually they're pretty consistent. They didn't allow any runs today. And so that was really good. And that was important because had they allowed runs, the A's probably wouldn't have won. And the A's hitting was also very strong in this game. 13 hits total. Tony Kemp had himself a great game with 3 hits. Jed Lowry, like I said, he had a double and a homer and 3 RBIs. So Jed Lowry would be my player of the game for sure. But also, there's other guys that had really good games, such as Andrus and Luis Barrera, each with 2 hits apiece. I mean, just great performances by them. For the Seattle Mariners, they had a good game from Jesse Winker, and they had George Kirby on the mound, who struck out 9 batters, but also allowed 4 runs. And their bullpen didn't do that well either. Their first 3 pitchers allowed runs in this game, multiple runs. And so, the A's, sort of capitalized on that and scored late in the game. In those, 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, the A's were scoring at will, and that sort of just caused them to win. So the A's finally beat the Mariners for the first time in forever, it seems. They're going to play the Mariners one more time in this series and hopefully can win the series. The A's haven't won a series in a while, so hopefully they can do that. The A's moved to 18-27. Mariners moved to 18-26. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and go A's.